Oh, there's fish on the bottom. See it? It's coming up. It's coming up. Oh, I just swam by. Oh, he's still there. There he is, got him. That was great. See that fish clearly on that Garmin Sonar app. Big old brookie. And the best part is, because it's a wireless sonar, I don't even have to worry about it tangling up on anything. I can actually leave the sonar in there. The fish will bounce it out. Look at that fat brookie. Awesome. Definitely can see that brookie on this wireless 3-inch Garmin Castable Sonar. A sonar that fits in your pocket. So for the past month, I've been experimenting with this Garmin Striker Castable Sonar. So this is a lithium-powered wireless sonar. This is the GPS-enabled version, which is $180. The non-GPS version is $130. It weighs only 2.5 ounces. It's 3 by 3 by 3 inches. Fits in your pocket, and it lasts up to 10 hours, they say, on a full charge. I would say that in the sub-zero temperatures I'm using, you're getting about a 15% reduction in battery life, and it doesn't do very well at extreme temperatures down beyond, they say, below 4 degrees Fahrenheit, so it might not be applicable to everybody who's ice fishing in extreme cold, but I'm out here today, and it's 6 degrees or 7 degrees, and it's handling it just fine. So I wouldn't necessarily believe the range limitations on this, especially when it's floating in 30-degree water. And what this thing does is it connects to your cell phone, and you download the Garmin Sonar app. Obviously you won't be able to see it on this screen here, but you just saw it there when I caught that fish. And it will only turn on and transmit sonar data to the app and connect to the app when it's floating in the water. It has 2 little electrodes here on the bottom. When it's floating in the water, the electrodes cause it to make connections, and it kicks on the sonar here, so it conserves the battery while it's sitting in your backpack or whatever. You don't have to have an on-off button. It just automatically turns on when it hits the water. So that's a pretty smart and easy thing to do. You charge it at home via a little port here on the bottom. They do encourage you to make sure that's very dry before you do that, so that you don't get any kind of corrosion when you're running the electrical charge through there. So, one thing I've noted in the industry, especially in ice fishing electronics, everything seems to be getting heavier, bulkier, more expensive, and there's not a lot of effort to make something really light, portable, and just basic. I feel like that section of the industry is getting ignored. Technology is really driving a lot of things to become smaller and lighter, but that doesn't seem to be the case with fish finders, as we get everybody focusing more on live scope imaging and heavy-duty imaging, specifically really catering to that tournament market. But I really don't need all that, especially when I'm ice fishing. I'm sort of a run-and-gun kind of ice angler. I don't want to be hauling around a bunch of weight, especially when I'm snowshoeing into some of my lakes. I just want something light and easy, and something that fits in my pocket that can give me depth, let me see my lure, and let me see fish. It's a pretty valuable little tool, especially when it only weighs 2.5 ounces, and I'm already carrying my phone anyways because I want to be able to take pictures and brag to my friends. So let's get started. So I'm just using a Ram Mounts X Grip, which I have mounted on my rod bucket. I'll put the phone in there like that, and that lets me see it and also keeps my hands free for fishing. Now the next thing I'll do is I'll just throw this into the water, and it should enable the sonar, and there you go. It starts feeding me data. It gets a little messy at first when it first hits the water, but it'll clean up as it settles down. And then I can go ahead and drop my jig down, and you can see I've got a bunch of ice on my line, so it's going to get a little messy here, but you can see the jig going down now. You can adjust the gain really easily by just going to this little drop down menu right here, and here I can gain up and make it a stronger signal, and it gets really messy because there's a lot going on. So you can see at the high gain, obviously I can see my jig, but I'm just losing a lot of detail here. So you just go up here and you use this slider bar to move it back and forth and find what works best for you at the depths you're fishing and on the size lure you're fishing. I'm doing well right around the mid gain today, around 53-55%. You can set it to auto, but my experience with the auto is that it isn't as strong of a signal of return. You can see it's a little bit fainter than I like. So I just want a little bit more robust of a signal. So I'm going to turn auto off. and keep it right around that 55, 53. It just looks a little more robust. You can also manually change the range, that is the range of the depth. The auto seems to work pretty good for me most of the time, but if you wanted to, you can adjust this from 0 to 175 feet, which is the maximum depth for this unit. Otherwise, I generally just go with the auto. Okay, so there's my jig. You can see lots of the jigging action shows up extremely well. That's just a tiny little 5mm jig at 7 feet deep, and it shows up remarkably well even as you go deeper. But I have noticed that as I go deeper, I have to... Ooh, there's a fish. See it? Chasing it. Still there. Come on. Oh, I missed that bite. How did I miss that bite? That's crazy. Oh, he's coming back for it. There he is. Got him. Nice. That's a little cutthroat. Cool. Awesome. And the nice thing, one of my favorite things about this is there's no cord, there's no wire running to my sonar. So I don't have to take the sonar out of the water. It's just a wireless sonar. You can't tangle up your line on it. And I don't know how many fish I've lost at the hole because they get wrapped up in the sonar cable. Alright, send that guy back. Here the sonar just bounces around in the hole. It's completely wireless, no big deal. Probably one of my favorite features for this sonar because of its design, is the wireless design. It's just so handy to not have to reach down, try and pull your sonar out of there in a hurry before something gets wrapped up on it, because there literally is nothing for it to wrap on. There's other settings we can adjust here too, so let's go up here to more settings, and I have the scroll speed set at maximum, so you can slow this way down. I have it at its fastest 10. I wish it could go faster, but it just simply can't. You can turn on fish symbols, and then you can also adjust the frequencies. So remember, as you go up in frequency, the narrower the cone gets. So at 455 kilohertz, you're getting a 9-degree cone, which is pretty good for ice fishing because it's going to just be shooting right below the hole and let you see your jig better. At 260 kilohertz, you're going to be getting a 22-degree cone. And when we go back, I'll just show you that. You'll see that the signal's a little bit different. So this might be better if you're wanting to detect fish coming from further away. So let's say you're out just using this to search in deeper water and see where fish are. Like say, oh, are they 10 or 20 foot to the right? In deeper water, you might be able to tell that by using that wider frequency. I find that they're both really good, but for small target resolution at deeper depths, I think the 455 kilohertz is a better setting. And I feel like I get a cleaner image. I don't get all this gunk up at the top like I get with, or interference, like I get with the 260 kilohertz. You'll see how much more noise there is throughout the water column. And I can adjust that by dialing down the gain, but then as I dial down the gain to clear that noise up, I lose my jig, right? So I've cleaned up that image, but now I can barely see my jig down here. And there's still quite a bit of gunk. So for ice fishing, I think that the best settings are 455 kilohertz with the scroll speed at maximum. You can also turn on the A-scope, which is just basically like a verticalized flasher here on the right. Some guys might like that. I personally don't feel like I need it when I have a higher scroll speed on my sonar, so I don't generally run that. So I'm just going to go back and kick A-scope off. I don't ever use fish symbols because those are for amateurs. Okay, so let's see if we can get another fish on here. Oh, there's a fish down the bottom. He's coming up. He's coming up. Coming up. Coming up. Oh, I missed him. Oh, there's a couple fish. Look at that. Come on. Still looking at it. There he is. Got him. Nice. Another cutthroat. There's a bunch of fish came through. A little school of cutties came in. There's another one right there. See it? And that's a worm like piece that came off the jig. Okay, let's go ahead and get this guy going. Quickly. There he goes. Oh, hey. Go the other way, buddy. There you go. Good job. Oh, there's fish. Come on, buddy. Come on. Oh, I missed him out. I missed him. He's still down there. I'm going to go back to him. He's coming back. Oh, there's fish. Got him. Dang, he smashed that. Crazy. Big fish, too. Big brookie. Now, I haven't used this in anything deeper than 40 feet, but no matter what, I've always been able to retain some ability to detect my jig by just modulating my frequency, by changing my frequency and increasing the gain. And to be honest, about 95% of all of my ice fishing is in less than 30-35 feet of water. So, ooh, it's a big hen. So it works really well for me. Wow, look at this big old hen brookie. But so far, I've been extremely impressed with the performance of this little tiny wireless fit in your pocket sonar. It's helping me catch lots of fish. It's perfect for a bank-bound angler who wants something they can use in open water to cast. And I'll do more with this during the open water season, talking about some of the GPS functions as well as the sonar functions when casting it. But for ice fishing, just having that basic sonar that fits right in your pocket, not having to worry about wires or anything, it's great for a bank-bound angler. They can use it on the bank and on the ice. Or if you're someone like me who's just looking for a very lightweight, simple, fits in your pocket, easy to use sonar, this thing really can't be beat at less than 3 ounces. It's pretty amazing, and if you don't need the GPS, it's just a little more than $100. All right, I'll put links to this below, to both the GPS and the non-GPS version. The non-GPS version is white. Otherwise, if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye, guys.